Hello, happy Homebrew Wednesday. So I'm going to do a tasting video today of my Christmas beer, since we're now into December. I brewed this back around February or March, and it is a 1914 Courage Imperial Stout. It's not a bit of light getting through the bottle. So I've had a few of these already, so it's not the first time I'm tasting this. I had it as recently as 2 weeks ago. Been in the bottle for, I think it's like 14 weeks, but with no priming sugar. Because it's quite a big high gravity beer and there's a dark malt in it, I thought I would just leave it to see if those darker, more complex sugars would break down over time. Another reason is I kind of plan on keeping this maybe even till next year again. Not all of them, just maybe like 5 or 6 bottles for next Christmas and see how it ages. And I'm kind of a little bit concerned about carbonation creep there. So yeah, no additional priming sugar. I'll get it cracked open. Tiny little bit of smoke. Got quite an aggressive pour. A little bit of carbonation. It pours a little bit like how I'd imagine old engine oil pours. There we go. So, jet black, tan head, quite a tight bubbles. Gonna try and get a light, see if we can, if there's anything you can see through it. Yeah, nothing. Not a thing's getting through that. So this is another one of Ron Pattinson's recipes from Shut Up About Barclay Perkins. And I'll put the link to the blog post that I used for this recipe. But there is Marisota, a lot of black malt and even more brown malt. And on the nose, it's like rich, very rich, like dried fruits, coffee, chocolate, and a bit like brandy. The dried fruits, brandy sort of smell. It's very Christmassy. As you see, head's not hanging around for very long. Just there's very little carbonation. It smells boozy, chocolatey. It's the sort of thing you want for Christmas. Cheers. And it tastes boozy and chocolatey and dried fruits. That's excellent. I really like that. I would have liked it if there was some carbonation to it, just a tiny drop. Just something to keep the head a little bit longer. I'll run through some of the numbers. It had... So Brewfather was expecting a original gravity of 1.112, which was never going to happen in a Grainfather. There's just no way I would ever have got that. Through using a reiterated mash, I got 1.092. So reiterated mash, half the grain bill, put that in to start with. And then you let that mash for however long, 60 minutes, 90 minutes. Lift out the grain basket, sparge with half the amount of sparge water you had planned. Then empty the grain somewhere. Put the next half of the grain bowl and then put it into the wort and then mash again for 60, 90 minutes and sparge with the rest of the sparge water you've got. And that improves your efficiency a little bit for big beers. It also makes everything in your brewing space sticky. It's really hard to do it clean and tidy. So, I wouldn't do it anywhere near that was carpeted. Took me weeks to clean the place up. If I was doing it again, I would use the big mash tun, and now I've got a pump for recirculating. That should help the efficiency. But 1092, that's fine. It was an expected final gravity on Brewfather of 1036. I got a final gravity of 1024. So I just tend to get pretty good attenuation. Crap mash efficiency, good attenuation. It's sort of the way of it. Brewfather expected 10%. End up with a beer around 8.9. I could have got away with adding sugar, and there's two Barclay Shut Up About Barclay Perkins blog posts with this recipe, and they're both different. I'll post the two below, but I'll mark which one I used. But the second one, I suggested using invert, and yeah, I could have got away with bumping up the ABV just a little bit with some sugar, even at like a tin of golden syrup, something like that. It wouldn't have dried it out. It would have still been plenty chewy. But yeah, it would have got me to that Imperial. Anything over 9%, I think you can call Imperial. 8.9, it's just upsettingly short. When I bottled that, the couple of litres I had left over in the bottling bucket, I used that as my priming sugar for the 4X porter, and that worked fantastic. But yeah, I gambled because it was totally unknown how much of the residual sugars in that were going to break down, but those bottles primed within 2 weeks. After 14 weeks, they're still good. They've not became overcarbonated or anything. Anything else? It was Yeast Whitbread 1099 liquid yeast. I made a 2 litre starter for that, and then just the usual. I used the paint stirrer on a drill to oxygenate the wort before I added the yeast. Added several myces and yeast nutrient, I think, during the boil. So yeah, the yeast had a good head start, so I think that's why I get the decent attenuation. Going to make this beer again, probably make it start of the year to give it another long aging process. I'd left this in the fermenter for months and months. It was the last batch I did in my fast ferment. That's a big chewy beer. Doesn't have any sort of alcohol burn. It tastes, as I said, it's got a sort of brandy notes to it, but it's not harsh in any way, which is surprising considering huge amounts of black malt, and even bigger amounts of brown malt. And I think I'd read somewhere that things like the astringency, brown malt's worse for that than black and patent. So no, it just tastes like a proper stout. I got the. I'd been wanting a snifter glass for a while, so I'd got it just for this. As you can see, but it does stick to the glass a little. Not much in the way of lacing. Yeah. Definitely worth a try. And if you have an all-in-one system, the reiterated mash, it's a decent way to go for bigger beers. If you've got like a G40 or G70 or one of the bigger hopcats, stuff like that, you don't really need the reiterated mash. I suppose you could do it if you want to make a really strong or a really high gravity beer. But yeah, there'll still be limits then. Yeah. I tried this. This was actually my second attempt. The first one, the yeast totally stalled way off where it was supposed to go. And the first batch, I didn't use the whitbread, the liquid yeast. I used SO4 and Nottingham combined, and it just fell way short of where it was supposed to be for the final gravity. So I binned it. It went, which was disappointing, but yeah, quite pleased with the second attempt. Look, I'll be making it again. I much prefer things like this than like the Belgian, the triples and the quads. I prefer like big stouts. Yeah, it'd be nice if it could be barrel aged as well, which I don't have the space to do. Brewing wise, again, nothing. I've been away on holiday for a week, so yeah, I have an absolute ton of bottles I need to clean, so that'll probably be getting done before any brewing. Still 50-50 if I'll get anything done this month, but plan on getting quite a lot brewed in the new year. I've got tons of malt to get through. Some that's quite old as well, so the Hefeweizen, the yeast is old, the Pilsner's old, the wheat malt, so it's stuff I've been planning and making for so long and not getting round to. Don't worry about the yeast being out of date. If I'm really worried, I'll make a starter. However, since it's Hefeweizen yeast and I want more banana flavour anyway, I'll probably just pitch it as is. It'll be my first time using the Weihenstephaner Hefeweizen yeast, so that'll be interesting. Usually I use WLP 300. There are dry varieties available. I've only used the Mangrove Jack's Bavarian Hefeweizen yeast, or whatever it was called, Bavarian wheat yeast, and I thought it was a bit shit. I used it twice, and both times the batches were crap. So each to their own. It's just the sort of beer you want after a long day. I'll maybe try a black and tan with this at some point over the coming month. Maybe this and the landlord, that will make the landlord clone a bit more interesting. Certainly viscous enough. Yeah, so that is it. See, I'll post the recipe in the comment, the description box below, and cheers.